Here is the uncomfortable truth about buying a premium SUV after 45. You probably care less about ambient lighting and giant touchscreens than you do about visibility, supportive seats, predictable controls, and getting home without a warning light ruining your weekend. Yet, a new Buick Envision now starts above $42,000, a new Acura RDX above $46,000, and a Lexus GX approaches $68,000 before options. Meanwhile, 5 older luxury SUVs are sitting in the used market with proven engines, real comfort, and prices that barely buy a new economy crossover. Picture a couple replacing an aging sedan. They want easier entry, a quiet highway ride, space for grandchildren, and controls that do not require reading glasses at every stoplight. That is where the Buick Envision, with the naturally aspirated 2.5-liter engine, quietly makes sense. Owners repeatedly describe it as smooth, comfortable, and surprisingly peaceful inside. One reported roughly 23 miles per gallon in mixed driving, another saw about 26 while praising rear seat comfort. You also get heated seat availability, useful rear vents, and a size that does not feel like a delivery truck in a grocery store parking lot. Underneath is a simple proposition: a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder producing 197 horsepower, connected to a conventional 6-speed automatic. No turbocharger is involved. Expect roughly 22 miles per gallon in town, 29 on the highway, and around 25 combined when driven sensibly. It will not pin you to the seat, but it delivers power without the nervous, overboosted behavior found in many newer small-engine crossovers. Still, do not let the soft leather distract you. Test every climate control setting, especially rear airflow. Check the touchscreen, camera, power liftgate, battery condition, and automatic stop-start behavior. Owners have praised the comfort while complaining about touch sensitivity, limited front storage, rear climate faults, and stop-start irritation. Those are usually annoyances rather than engine-ending disasters, but electrical neglect can turn a bargain into a weekly scavenger hunt. Current examples commonly land between roughly $11,000 and $17,000, depending heavily on year, mileage, drivetrain, and history. A 2020 model in good condition carries private party values near the mid-teens, while average annual repair and maintenance estimates for a 2017 sit around $536. Best fit? A comfort-first buyer who wants premium manners without premium brand labor rates. Quiet competence is useful, but what happens when you want something that feels as if it were carved from one solid piece of German steel? Before falling for a Mercedes-Benz GLK 350, drive it with the radio off, accelerate gently, cruise at highway speed, then coast. Listen for humming or rumbling from wheel bearings, the driveline, or the transfer case on 4-wheel drive versions. Sit at a stop with the transmission in gear and feel for excessive vibration, which can point toward worn engine or transmission mounts. Owners with higher mileage GLKs have reported suspension wear, brake costs, wheel bearings, mount deterioration, and occasional transfer case trouble. That inspection matters because the core vehicle is excellent. Model years 2013 through 2015 use a 3.5-liter V6 producing 302 horsepower paired with a 7-speed automatic. Rear-wheel drive was available, while 4MATIC adds all-weather security. Fuel economy is approximately 18 in the city, 25 on the highway, and 21 combined. Not Prius territory, obviously, but respectable for something that can make 80 miles per hour feel suspiciously calm. Here is the ownership trade-off. An independent Mercedes specialist is almost mandatory. Average annual maintenance and repair estimates approach $945 for a 2013, nearly twice the Acura coming later. Yet owners often praise the rigid cabin, excellent isolation, confident seats, and stable highway behavior. For an adult who still enjoys driving but no longer wants a stiff sports sedan, that combination is difficult to replace. Expect approximately $9,000 to $16,000 for a respectable GLK 350, with unusually low mileage 4MATIC examples costing more. Favor 2014 or 2015 when condition is equal, but a carefully maintained 2013 beats a neglected newer one every time. Service records are not a bonus here. They are the entrance exam. Before we continue, like this video and subscribe if you value honest used car advice. And for $14.99, become a channel member for deeper buying guides designed to help you spot hidden problems, avoid expensive traps, and choose your next vehicle with confidence. German solidity sounds appealing, But the Acura RDX asks a sharper question. How much luxury do you actually need before ownership becomes unnecessarily expensive? Compared with contemporary European rivals, the second-generation RDX feels less theatrical. Materials are good rather than spectacular, and its all-wheel drive system is simpler than Acura's more sophisticated performance hardware. In return, you get a 3.5-liter V6 with 273 horsepower, a 6-speed automatic, strong acceleration, and mechanical familiarity shared with other Honda and Acura products. Front-drive versions return about 23 miles per gallon combined. All-wheel drive is closer to 22. One period road test averaged just under 22 in mostly urban driving. Real owners often describe long-distance comfort and few mechanical surprises. One reported that it was a second RDX and neither had produced mechanical trouble. That sort of story explains the appeal, but it does not eliminate inspection work. Ask for documentation showing the timing belt and water pump have been replaced. These V6 engines use a belt, and at this age, a missing receipt should be treated as money you will spend immediately. During the test drive, hold a light throttle at highway speed and watch for vibration as the cylinder deactivation system operates. Acura issued a bulletin covering driveline vibration on 2013 and certain early 2014 all-wheel drive examples, with propeller shaft replacement listed as the corrective action. Do not accept "they all do that" from a seller. Some may, but your bank account does not need to. A well-kept RDX usually costs roughly $11,000 to $16,000, although low-mileage dealer cars can push higher. Average annual maintenance for a 2015 is estimated around $482. 2015 is the sweet spot here, while earlier years remain worthy when the vibration issue, timing belt service, transmission fluid, and rear differential maintenance are documented. Acura gives you sensible speed. Our next SUV removes some of the sensible part. Who should consider an Infiniti QX50 from 2016 or 2017? Someone who misses naturally aspirated engines, prefers a lower driving position, and thinks many modern crossovers feel like tall appliances. This one behaves more like a rear-drive sports sedan that happens to have a hatch. Its 3.7-liter V6 produces 325 horsepower and works through a 7-speed automatic. Acceleration is immediate, steering feels alive, and the chassis encourages you to take the long route home. Owners mention strong performance, road holding, and comfort, occasionally followed by complaints about tiny cup holders and fuel bills. That is a fairly accurate summary of the entire vehicle. Expect around 17 miles per gallon in town, 24 on the highway, and 20 combined. One owner reported 17 to 18 in ordinary use and roughly 21 to 22 on highway trips, while admitting that enjoying the engine did not help. Premium fuel adds another expense. Average annual maintenance estimates run around $500 for these 2 years, although tires and brakes can rise quickly if the previous owner treated every on-ramp as qualifying practice. Inspection should focus on water intrusion around the sunroof drains, wet carpets, door lock actuators, wheel bearing noise, suspension wear, smooth transmission behavior, and evidence of frequent oil changes. Do not confuse these older 3.7-liter models with the later variable compression turbo QX50. They are mechanically different vehicles. Owners and even a former Infiniti technician have described well-maintained examples as unusually trouble-free, but neglect is still capable of turning that strong V6 into very expensive furniture. Market value is the real surprise. Roughly $10,000 to $14,000 buys many clean examples, with private party values for a 2017 sitting around $12,000. For a driver who values performance over maximum cargo space or fuel economy, it may be the most entertaining bargain here. Power is easy to advertise. Long-term toughness under towing, bad roads, winter weather, and family duty is a much rarer talent, which brings us to the heavyweight. Imagine pulling a boat uphill in triple-digit heat while the temperature gauge refuses to move. One GX owner reported doing exactly that with a boat weighing about 5,500 pounds. Anecdotes are not warranties, but they reveal why the Lexus GX 460 attracts people who keep vehicles for decades rather than lease cycles. Beneath the leather is body-on-frame construction, permanent four-wheel drive, low range, and a 4.6-liter V8 producing 301 horsepower through a 6-speed automatic. It is old-school engineering, which means excellent durability, useful towing ability, commanding visibility, and fuel economy of approximately 15 in town, 20 on the highway, and 17 combined. A highway-heavy owner may see 18 or 19. Nobody buys one to win an efficiency contest. Age still collects payment. Inspect carefully for coolant seepage, underbody corrosion, suspension wear, warning lights, leaking shocks, and problems involving the hydraulic KDSS system or rear air suspension on equipped versions. Confirm that every recall has been completed by VIN. Average annual maintenance for a 2013 is estimated around $693, but one major suspension or air conditioning repair can exceed that figure quickly. Prices generally run from roughly $12,000 for high mileage examples to around $20,000 for clean, documented trucks. 2012 and 2013 are especially attractive when rust-free and properly serviced, although condition matters far more than the number on the tailgate. The GX is ideal for buyers who tow, travel in poor weather, live around rough roads, or simply want one substantial SUV they can maintain instead of replacing every few years.